joining us. We are Drew Code Sports Talk. I am your host, Andrew Wright, and this lovely face over here is my co-host, Cody Johnson. Cody, I'm excited today.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Me too. Let's do this.
All right. Well, let's start off with talking about North Carolina winning their national championship. It was a great win for them. They earned it for sure. They had, basically the same team that they had last year coming into this year and winning it all finally. Obviously, everyone's complaining about the refs, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that, honestly. It was just a regular college basketball game, in my opinion.
I thought it was a good hard match. I mean, if anything, it reminded me of what old school basketball looked like.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah. So, it was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
But the question I want to put into your head is, where do you have Roy Williams ranking in the best college? Ooh, man, words are hard today. Best college basketball coach. Where do you have him ranked?
I think I've got him ranked about third all time, right behind, believe it or not, your left me, Coach K. I've got Wooden, Coach K, and I've got Williams, and I'm basically basing that off of also national championship titles combined. He's got, Ward Williams has got 3, Coach K's got 5, and then obviously Wooden's got 10, which, it's going to take a lot of years for either one to catch up. But, Williams also in great company with Calhoun and Bobby Knight. All 3 of them are tied for at least 3 national championships, so those are still really great company coaches. And honestly, I think we don't give enough credit to Coach Williams because even in the championship game, he didn't have any one-and-dones. He had all upperclassmen, and he won it all with them. And he's won the national championship now 3 times with North Carolina since he was hired there in 2003, I believe is when he started. And he's got a very high winning percentage of close to 80% overall, and that was even before his time when he was coaching at Kansas. So I think, in my opinion, he's got to rank at least 3rd, and it's going to be, and I'm also just basing this off of championships. And, he's been to 9 Final Four appearances. He's 76-24 in the tournament overall, not including the 816 wins he has just as a coach in general. So, I mean, he's got to, at least to me, rank 3rd, but definitely Coach K and Wooden still go above him, in my opinion.
Honestly, I'm not trying to dump on what you said or anything. I'm not trying to dump on North Carolina's win. I mean, it was a great win, like we said earlier. Honestly, I never thought Roy Williams, if he didn't win this, he wasn't going to be still considered one of the best coaches in college basketball. I have a hard time believing that we would sit here today if North Carolina lost and we're going, wow, Roy Williams, what is he doing with North Carolina? They are terrible. They keep making it to the Final Four and doing nothing. Okay, you should have stopped that fun. They keep making it to the Final Four because that's the feat in itself.
Yeah,
it's very hard to do that. Mark Few just got to his first Final Four with Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm. Tom Izzo actually has been there, I think, 6 times, and I think this was a few years ago with Michigan State, that if he didn't make it in the Final Four, he was on the hot seat, but when he actually got in it, they say it saved his job, because then they said he's made it 2 Final Fours he's made 4 Final Fours in like 6 years, and so it helped him because if not, then it'd have been 3 and 6 and some number. But anyways, the Final Four appearances almost are as good as national championships because, for example, Tom Izzo's job was basically saved, I think, in 2010 when I think they made the Final Four that year in that tournament. So
yeah, I'm with you. Coach K has always been my favorite coach watching, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to think I'm, not respecting Coach Wooden, which I really do. I always thought Coach K was the best coach in my opinion because I've actually seen the way he's been over the years. I never really got to see Wooden.
Right.
I mean, you get to see highlights every now and then. So please don't come at me with hate. I'm just going strictly off eye test, and I'm being honest with it. But yeah, I mean, I never thought that Roy Williams is a terrible head coach. Just because I like Duke doesn't mean I hate North Carolina.
Right.
Actually, me and my wife had a conversation like this earlier, and she was like, "Well, you like sports.
Yeah.
You have your teams, but you also know how the sport should act, or how someone should. You can respect a player even if they're not your favorite.
Right, and that's basically what sports is about, is sportsmanship. You know, like I love UNC and I love Williams, but I'm also recognizing as our arch rival Duke that Coach K is probably the better coach because, you know, for example, he's got more national championships and he's also coached Team USA the last 3 times that they went to the gold medal, basically brought them back in redemption when they first were doing their run. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, like Coach K is phenomenal, if anything, second best all time. And then I think Williams is really close behind him, but also Coach K's been coaching longer, he's got more championships, and who knows, maybe Williams will catch up because he always keeps UNC relevant every year. They're always a high seed. I think 2 years ago, not this past championship in 2015, but 14 is when they kind of underachieved. I don't think they made it to the Elite 8, but you know, they've always been very close every year, and they're always competing in the ACC championship almost every year. Yeah. And you can't ignore that, and it just goes to the coach. And, you know, granted, Duke may have, like, more quality NBA players right now, and UNC maybe hasn't produced that many great UNC players in maybe the last, like, 5 or 6 years.
Since Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, there's Vince Carter and Jerry Stackhouse, just name a few. But, you know, I would say in the last 5 to 6 years, UNC really hasn't produced any, like, you know, top 10, you know, lottery picks. Where Duke, you know, Kyrie Irving went, I think, number 1 or number 2, number 1 actually in 2009 or 10, or anyways, he out of Duke though, went number 1. And, you know, there's now a one and done in Jason Tatum that we'll talk about later. Yeah. That is a potential top 10 pick, and he's out of Duke. So.
And I'm actually kind of glad that you brought that up because what I actually really respect about Coach Williams is in a decade where, in a decade where we've lived now of, you know, Coach Calipari's, we have Coach Self, we have Coach Patino, we have Coach Izzo. Yeah. You have all these head coaches, Coach K, all these guys who give these players the top recruits who are basically, they're obviously only going to stay there for 1 year and then they're done.
Right.
So the one and done thing. With Coach Williams, he has implemented a system where these kids want to stay.
Right.
Like, it's incredible. Like what we said earlier, they had the same team that made it to the national championship last year. Now they have them this year and they ended up winning. Yeah. I mean, you don't get that. I mean, if Coach K would have won this year, Tatum's still gone.
Right.
There's no way he's staying.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I got to give it to Coach Williams. Mm-hmm. He has done something. He's told these kids, listen, please stay. And I don't know how he says it. I don't know what he does. Yeah. How he probably guarantees a lot, honestly. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah.
He's very good at getting the best out of these players, and it just shows. And honestly, it's kind of ironic here that we're talking about a coach that hasn't really conformed to the one and done like Calipari or even Coach K or even Patino now is following that trend, which is surprising because he was the one kind of dogging it for a while. But, you know, Roy Williams is probably the one that's still staying on what it used to be normal, and we're basically, the new normal to us is one and done. Yeah. And here he is kind of, in a way, he's kind of rubbing college basketball's face and saying, I won with upperclassmen, people that stayed, and you one and dones couldn't beat us. Yeah. You know, and granted, you know, a lot of things could have been different, but they were grinded out kind of a team. They had experience over these freshmen, which probably did play a big role. Because, you know, if you've got someone that's like 23, 24, a senior in college going against an 18-year-old, that's a pretty big experience difference regardless. You know, so maybe that's a big difference, and maybe the one and dones, it's cool and all, but for a college program, you might want to keep your upperclassmen like what Williams is doing because he's still producing and doesn't need one and dones to win. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Yeah. Oh, man, we're just getting started. Are you kidding me? Please follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's Drew Code Sports Talk. And also, please follow us Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you're always watching it, I always do this just to make sure I hit all 3 points. Please follow us, Drew Code Sports Talk. We appreciate all your love and support. Thank you for watching.